Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am someone that has a heart that is full of jealous and envy. I do not want to see anyone succeeding in life. And this type of jealousness, I think that it comes from my mother. My mother, I can say that she was someone who was known in the village, but the problem was that in the village, people thought that she was such a humble woman, but deep down in her heart, people did not even know that she was like the devil's daughter. We grew up in the villages, and some of the things that my mother was doing, it was just criminal. I'm even scared to tell you like each and every little detail, like what my mom used to do. So there was this other time at our church, since my mom was known to be someone that was very humble, there was this other young woman. When she had gone to this other teachers college in Harare, that was when she had met a rich blesser who wanted to marry her. So that rich blesser then came to the village and spoke with her people. It was like a great day. So my mom was then told by the pastor that she had been invited to be part of that ceremony. Like, people thought that she was a good woman. So my mom, since people knew that she was like deep into poverty, so the pastor had spoken with that blesser and that woman that if they wanted a maid, they should consider my mother, because the pastor was thinking about the way that we were suffering. So my mom, it was sort of like a job interview on the day when these lobola negotiations were taking place. But one thing about my mom that you cannot take away from her, she was someone that was like a very hard worker. And at that time, when she was busy running around, I think that was when she impressed that woman and her blesser. And people did not even know that deep down in her heart, she was filled with evil, like she had a demon that used to possess her. So at that time, that was when my mom was taken to the city by this newly wedded couple, and then she went and started staying with them at their house in the city. So my mom, what she did on that day, Brother Nashi, it was truly evil, because you know that during the lobola negotiations, the husband-to-be will be giving the relatives of his new wife some money. So my mom, because she had done such a great job, she was then given some money by that man, the rich blesser. She was given only $5. $5, my brother. That is what she was using to bewitch this family that she was working for, the people that were making it possible for her to feed her own children. But she thought of bewitching them. Before she had gone with them to the city, my mom, she had this other African wrapping skirt that was quite old. That is what she used whenever she wanted to bewitch someone. She then made a knot, and inside that knot, she then placed that $5 that she had been given by that blesser. She kept the money until the day when our uncle just came to our house, and when he was looking for some money to buy weed. Through those, it took 2 years for our uncle to come back and to release that woman from the curse that had been placed upon her life by our mother. My mom, after she had tied that money to her African wrapping skirt, she said that I was supposed to keep that wrapping skirt of hers safe, and each and every time when she would return back from the city, my mom made sure that she would look and she would check if the money indeed was there. All I can say that it was by the grace of God, because my mom, when she returned back home from Harare at that time, when she was angry, that was when she started shouting and saying that, don't you know that I had tied the womb of my boss lady so that she won't be able to conceive? She wanted this woman to be dumped by her husband. And I asked my mom if she had someone else that was going to get married to this rich blesser after this poor woman would have been dumped because she would be unable to conceive. But my mom did not even have a plan. So how can you bewitch someone so that the person can be dumped by their husband, yet you do not even have another plan. And I don't know, I think that my mom, maybe she was mentally ill, because how can you just bewitch someone that is helping you like that? So my mom, there was this other time when she just came to the village. When she came to the village, she was crying and she was angry. And at that time, what had happened was that we had this other uncle of ours, and I can see that maybe this woman, all along, she had been praying unto God since she was failing to conceive, because this uncle of ours, he was an illegal gold miner, and we had not seen him like in a couple of years, and it was because of my mother. After our uncle had gone to dig up for gold illegally, my mother had taken some ashes and she had blown those ashes into the wind, and she said that just like as these ashes are being blown into the wind, and they shall never return back into the palm of my hand, so my brother, he should never return back. He is only supposed to return back when he is in a coffin, because my mother just felt like bewitching her own brother. So he had been gone there for a very long time, until suddenly he then returned back home. When he came back home, he said that he was like broke, and he was staying at our home at that time. He was someone who loved alcohol and smoking weed at all the times. So when we will be at school, my uncle will be busy searching all over the place, trying to find some money so that he can go and buy some cigarettes. So at that time, that was when he came across that African wrapping skirt that had the $5 that my mom had used when she was cursing a boss lady. After he had taken the money, he went and he bought his weed. We immediately informed our mother that this is what had happened. Our mother was so angry. She was so angry. And then she came back. She shouted so much at our uncle and cursed him. She even beat us up. And after she had beaten us up, she then returned back to the city. That was when we heard that her boss lady had fallen pregnant. That is what my mother did at that time. But that couple, it was like helping my mom. It was also helping us. We thought that loving couple life could have been very difficult. But one thing that I learned is that when one is a witch, they can never be grateful no matter what. Then there is another thing that my mom did. So she did this before she had started working for that family. We had these other neighbors of ours. They were like really poor. They were even more poor than we were. Then the husband then went to South Africa. When he went to South Africa, he then worked for a few months and he sent some money. He wanted his wife to buy a cow. And when my mom saw that next door there was a cow, my mom, what she did was so evil. This was late at night. She then went outside. When she went outside, she came back indoors and she said, follow me, wake up, you lazy bones. And I woke up and I started to follow my mom. Then we went to their cattle kraal where that cow was in. And when we went in there, my mom, she then entered into that cattle kraal. My mom was not even afraid. Even a bull, she would even handle a bull. And my mom, she had this other rope that she tied the cow with that rope. And then my mom first tied the leg of that cow. So at that time, my mom, she had been so friendly with this other guy who was like the village veterinarian, and he had given my mom this other injection so as to drug a cow, and that is what she used when she drugged that cow. The cow then went on its knees. My mom then tied the cow to one of the poles, those ones that they used to make the cattle kraal. That was when my mom started eating the cow and she broke the cow's spinal cord. That was when my mom slaughtered this cow. Then she said, hold this. She gave me some of the meat and she said, follow me. I followed her and we entered into our neighbor's compound. When we entered into our neighbor's compound, she then offered the meat to the dogs, and we then led the dogs back to the cattle kraal, and where they found that slaughtered cow, then they started eating. I can say that all the dogs in the village throughout the night, they were eating that dead cow, but it had been killed by my mother. This is how much cruel my mother is. My mom is very cruel, and some of the things, they are too sensitive. dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister right there. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Yo.